Hey, you all, and good morning. Carpetbagger here, coming to you live from the island of Oahu here in Hawaii. More specifically, I'm here at Pearl Harbor, of course, the location for one of the most horrifying events that occurred in U.S. history when the Japanese attacked the military base here in Pearl Harbor, causing the United States to join World War II. Of course, that changing world history forever. And I guess today, coming out here to Pearl Harbor, there's several things to see here. There is Aviation Museum. There's several ships, and of course, there is the USS Arizona Memorial. So we're going to try to do as much as we can today here at Pearl Harbor. So please follow me. So here we are inside the visitor center. I believe I'm going to do the Pearl Harbor Aviation Museum first. I just need to figure out how to get over there. Okay, let's head over in this direction. There is a shuttle that will take us to the Aviation Museum. Okay, this bus here is going to take us to Ford Island, where some of the attractions are. Yeah, here is the shuttle route. The shuttle leaves from here, takes us to the Battleship Missouri Memorial, and then goes on to the Pearl Harbor Aviation Museum. So yeah, we're gonna hop aboard. All right, let's find our seat here on the bus.
USS Bowfin is the below-class
right there.
attack submarine. The Bowfin is nicknamed the Pearl Harbor Avenger.
So I'm actually going to be staying on the bus because I'm going to do the Aviation Museum first. I booked a tour of the tower, so that's at 11 o'clock, so I don't have time right now to see the Missouri. So we're going to go ahead and do the Aviation Museum first. Here we come upon the Aviation Museum. That is the tower that I booked tickets to.
Okay guys, we are now approaching our second stop, Pearl Harbor Aviation Museum. Okay, to those going back to Arizona Visitor Center, just stay on the bus. Okay, before you get up on this bus, please check your personal belongings, your cell phone, your wallet, and your ticket.
And we have arrived. Okay, I got my top of the tower tour ticket, and we're just gonna head across over here to the tower. And this is the Ford Island Control Tower. It was here during the Battle of Pearl Harbor and was the first to send out radio signals that the base was under attack. All right, going up.
Come on in.
All right, here you go. Watch your step, please.
All right, there's 2 flights of stairs here. Looks like the only one for my time slot. All right, we're gonna head outside here. And this is an active military base, so there's rules about what you can take pictures of or film. So you're allowed to show a few things, but I can't show you like the whole sweeping view here because it's military based. Obviously, there's secure things here, but I can tell you, it's an amazing view. That is the USS Missouri. We are headed over there after we're done here at the Aviation Museum. You can also kind of see the USS Arizona Memorial there peeking out from behind the trees. That is the sunken battleship that is still in the harbor. Look down there at the Pearl Harbor Aviation Museum. Got the bus waiting there in the front to transport people. Have some of the planes here at the Aviation Museum. And here's a picture of the view. You can see here, it actually shows where the attack started coming from, just right over this hill. planes started flying in. Kind of haunting looking out here and seeing that. So just came down from the tower, and there was an absolutely excellent docent up there who really gave me a lot of good information about the conflict, about what happened. I knew kind of in broad strokes what happened on Pearl Harbor, but he really gave a very excellent explanation of how it occurred. One thing I didn't know is that there was airfields all over the island of Oahu, and the Japanese actually swarmed the entire island with very specific targets. Another interesting thing, a lot of the battleships that were sunk in Pearl Harbor were actually recommissioned fairly quickly and actually fought in World War II. And one of the reasons that allowed that to happen was the Japanese did not attack the repair, the infrastructure. They attacked the ships exclusively, which allowed them to be repaired. If the Japanese had attacked the shops and things like that repair the ships, the shipyard itself, the ships probably would not have been able to be armed and sent to fight in World War II. It was one of those very interesting what-if situations. And kind of, one thing I didn't necessarily always understand is, why would Japan do this? Why would they attack? It seems foolhardy in retrospect. And part of it was we were allies with China. And I know a lot of you know this. I'm just relaying what I'm learning here. America was allies with China at the time, and there was a oil embargo because Japan was conquering Asia. We were trying to cut them off because of our partnership with China, and the Japanese figured to end the oil embargo, they needed the oil to keep progressing. So they thought if they took out the United States Navy here at Pearl Harbor, that they would be able to do whatever they wanted in the Pacific. And they also felt like if they attacked Pearl Harbor, that America would surrender. That did not happen.
Down for the night. The following day, President Franklin D. Roosevelt addresses Congress. War had come to America.
Down here, there's an exhibit on the immediate aftermath of Pearl Harbor, where the different ships were on fire, different planes on fire, and fire equipment used to put out those fires. So the tower tour was kind of a last-minute add-on to my ticket, but I would highly recommend it. The docent up there just kind of was able to give me, basically lay out the entire day, the entire tack, by showing the real location. So it's like a 360 view of the harbor. Beautiful view, by the way, just all around. You can see all around the island. But he broke it down, showed where different attacks were, where different ships were. Just and being there, standing there in the real places, being able to see the real places where these things happen. I thought it was an excellent tour. So I would not hesitate to add that onto your ticket if you're coming out here to Pearl Harbor. I think now we're going to head back into the Pearl Harbor Aviation Museum. Now, right off the bat, this is pretty amazing. This is a Boeing Stearman N2 S3 PT-17 Cadet, but what makes this particular plane very, very fascinating and very, very interesting, very, very notable is that this plane has been flown by George H.W. Bush, former U.S. president. He was in the Navy, a very decorated pilot in the Navy, and he actually trained using this very plane right here. Oh boy, we have some flight simulators over there. Oh, they're doing a barrel roll. Yikes. And look at this here. I really appreciate when they put the shark mouths on the front. I mean, just let you know America is coming with a shark mouth and a sexy lady on this side of the plane. Now this is a pretty fascinating story. This is a tractor here, an old rusty tractor, and this is General Billy Mitchell. It said he filed a report in 1924 that he believed that the Japanese would attack Hawaii on a Sunday morning, would attack Oahu. Of course, his prophecy ended up being correct, but one thing he also believed was that there would be a private island called Niihau, which he believed the Japanese would set up their own naval base on. So they actually took this tractor here and made it so, I guess they made like divots in the island. They dug up the island so it could not be used as an airfield, all with this tractor. I also wanted to point out here that all the text is also written in Japanese. And the interesting fact, I looked it up and it said that 1/3 of the people that visit the Pearl Harbor every year are from Japan. They actually have Japanese audio tours as well. This talks about another incident on Niihau. This is the wreckage of a Japanese fighter plane. They were known as the Zeros, and it crashed on the island. And the pilot apparently had a struggle and a fight with a local man, and ended up killing the pilot. And here is an intact one, the Mitsubishi A6M2, known as the Zero. These were the fighter planes that the Japanese used on their attack on Pearl Harbor. A lot of them would carry a single bomb there at the bottom. And of course, during the war, these would be used by kamikaze pilots. Another Japanese aircraft here. This one's not in as good a shape. This is known as the Kate. Yeah, this map here shows the attack on Oahu, where the different groups of planes basically swarm the island. Like I mentioned, there's different airfields, not just Pearl Harbor, that were also attacked here on Oahu. Although you can see all paths end right here in Pearl Harbor. And here's an actual piece of the USS Arizona, a battleship that was sunk and the attack of Pearl Harbor is actually still sitting here in Pearl Harbor, sunken to the bottom of the harbor. And here's a section of it. It says that these were porthole windows here, and we got tickets later to go see the actual USS Arizona. But here's a piece of it right here. Oh, I like the mascot there, the ruptured duck. A little nervous duck with a crossed crutches. You see next to the ruptured duck here we have Kramer. This is a Kramer Seaman First Class. We have some Pearl Harbor collectible pennies here. That's the control tower that we toured earlier. This is the Warhawk little tiger mascot. That's Pearl Harbor Aviation Museum. Let's get all four. There we go, some Pearl Harbor pennies for the collection. As we head out of the museum here, we have this old window from the hangar. It's got bullet holes from the Pearl Harbor attack in the glass. Over here is one of the Blue Angels, one of the planes that does the really cool stunt shows. I don't know if we call it a stunt show, but they fly around, do crazy formations. So a row of fighter planes back here. We're headed back here to Hangar 79. Yeah, look at these marine choppers back here. It's from the Hawaiian Air Guard. Yeah, look on this chopper. The Hawaiian tail art. The warrior there with the islands. Yeah, we saw a plane with a shark mouth. Here's a shark mouth helicopter.
Speaking of full circle, just had a volunteer.
They do plane restoration in here. This plane was rescued from a swamp in New Guinea. Now this is interesting. This says Amelia Earhart made her first attempt to fly around the world, launching from this this runway right here, and she crashed. And apparently no one was hurt. But yeah, that's insane. I think it's time to hop back on the bus, and we're gonna head over to the USS Missouri. Here comes our bus.
Influx of contract papers arrived.
We have arrived here at the USS Missouri. This is the statue of Fleet Admiral Chester Nimitz. Actually, the highway next here is the Nimitz Highway. And look at that ship there. So this ship here, the USS Missouri, very important to the whole story of World War II, because that is the ship where it all ended. Pearl Harbor right here is where America joined the war, and on that ship is where the Japanese surrendered to the Americans aboard that ship. So we walk past these fluttering American flags, come over here to board the ship. It says this is the way to the boarding brow. All the different state flags flying here next to the Missouri. Oh, look over here. Here's the unconditional surrender statue. When the news hit that the Japanese surrendered, this sailor grabbed an unexpected nurse and gave her a somewhat unasked for kiss. Now over here at the end of the dock, you can see the memorial to the USS Arizona. The ship is sunk to the bottom of the harbor there. That's the white building is the memorial on top. You can see they're actually unloading a boat there. So you have to get tickets to the boat, and the boat will take you out there, and you can look down onto the ship. So we got tickets for that later, but right now we're going to check out the Missouri. Yeah, a lot of magnitude to this spot here. You've got the sunken USS Arizona here. It was bombed in the attack, which caused the beginning of the war for the United States. And then next to it, the USS Missouri, where World War II was literally ended. All right, head up these stairs and board Missouri. Yeah, there you can see both ships, the Missouri and the Arizona. Now, there are guided tours, but usually I prefer to explore alone. You can see the guns here from the battleship. See the gun there on the side. Another look at the Arizona Monument. Look at those guns there. Yeah, you definitely don't want this ship coming after you. The staircase leads us up to what is called the surrender deck. And here is the exact spot that World War II ended. Right here on this spot, the Japanese surrendered to the Allied powers, ending World War II. Wow, that is just right here. That is amazing. That is wow. You can see this photo here of the surrender, the Japanese officials there, General Douglas MacArthur on the table, those sitting on that spot over there, and you can see all these military personnel lined up right here. Right here, you can match up these things in the picture. So that they were lined up right here. Here are replicas of the documents signed Instrument of Surrender. We'll step in here. This is the captain's quarters. It's the dinner table all set there.
Yeah.
Over here, got a basketball hoop from the Harlem Globetrotters. So during the Battle of Okinawa, the USS Missouri was actually a victim of a kamikaze attack. See the kamikaze attack site right here. You can see here the dent here between the two pieces of tape. Not a very severe dent, so it wasn't a very successful kamikaze attack. Of course, kamikaze attack is when the pilots are instructed, the Japanese pilots instructed to actually crash their plane with themselves into it, themselves in the plane into their target. And they actually had a burial at sea. They recovered the kamikaze pilot's body from the wreckage, and then right here you can see the footprints. They wrapped the body in canvas and gave him a burial at sea. Now we head down below deck. Come down here to the cafeteria. See, they have a modern Pepsi machine installed. And I've learned touring ships, you've got to follow the arrows. It's really easy to get lost in a ship tour. So here through the mess hall. And they have an exhibit here on the ship about kamikaze pilots. This is the uniform that a pilot would wear. Yeah, very, very sad. Very, very sad that someone would be compelled to do something like that. These cameras here were used to document the kamikaze attack And this is a letter opener that one of the crew members created from some of the wreckage of the kamikaze plane. Different pieces of art made from the kamikaze wreckage. See, like a knife there fashioned out of the wreckage. And these are items from the pilot, his scarf, and a naval button. It's Big Mo's snack shop. This is where the sailors came to get their snacks. Oh my gosh, I have ice cream, popcorn, all sorts of candy. Maybe life on the ship wasn't so bad. I mean, it was. It's like being in World War II must have been horrible. But yeah, being able to come down here and get some ice cream might have made things just a little bit nicer. Just a nice distraction. Yeah, it says here the Missouri was also involved in the first Gulf War, 1987. See the ship's library here. Now, I've been on a lot of ships, but I think this may be the biggest of all the military ships I've been on. There's just so much, you know, they have the snack shop, they have this full library, like a traveling like a city in the ocean that fights battles. Here's the petty officers' sleep. This is the Chief Petty Officers Lounge. So yeah, they had a fairly nice lounge in here. Oh, look at this, the leather furniture. And this would have been a nice TV back then. Looks like my grandma's TV as I was growing up. There's another dining area in here. This is the Chief Petty Officer's Mess Hall. That just fell off. That was strange. It's like it fell by itself. There we go. There's the Petty Officer's kitchen here. They'd line up and get their dinner spooned to them. Oh, this is the crew's mess hall. Okay, yeah, this is where we first came in at. There's a knot tying display. And I'll tell you what, I probably cannot tie a single one of these. Yeah, they do have the, I guess, yeah, they would have a modern Pepsi machine if they were using the ship in the 80s. Crazy to think, yeah, all the way from World War II to the 1980s, this was in operation. It's a hot cocoa machine. Now here's a true antique. This machine has Sierra Mist. Long live Sierra Mist. Get rid of Starry. Oh, this is the vegetable preparation room. Okay, I guess this is where they would go to peel potatoes and amongst other things. Yeah, you can see portraits here of high-ranking military officials. They still have the George H.W. Bush as the president. Peek into the war room here. Oh, that literally scared me, that little dog. Who brought their dog on the ship? I guess dogs were common to have aboard military vessels. I guess here's where they would grab their trays and their silverware and then head that way to get their food. I wonder why they have the war room in the so close to the cafeteria. There's the Master at Arms' office. Yeah, we still used typewriters back in the 80s. Peek in the bakery here and see they had to make enough bread to feed an army. No, an actual army. Also looks like we're baking some muffins over here. It's the bakery annex, also known as the donut shop, because they have an active donut making facility on the boat. They have a scent here. You can actually smell the donuts. That's pretty impressive. And the career counselor here, he's having himself a donut and some coffee. Some more sleeping quarters. Tight quarters, big ship, tight quarters. Here are the showers, and it says, no bare feet allowed. Shower shoes will be worn. I remember my grandfather was in the Marines, and he would always call flip-flops shower shoes. Even if I showed up wearing flip-flops, he would refer to them as shower shoes. Here's the Master Chief's office. Look at that, it has a picture of the ship hanging above his desk. And here aboard the Missouri, we have an exhibit, The War That Changed the World, a tribute to the World War II generation. Actually step into an American living room. At one moment we're on the ship, next minute we're in an American living room. There's FDR above the radio. Sailor uniform and some of the personal items, the soldiers. There's an English Hawaiian dictionary. There's some wreckage of another ship pulled out of the harbor. Some Japanese items down here, Japanese medals. It's a folding hand mirror, Japanese folding hand mirror with a German army uniform insignia. Little things that soldiers would be carrying, a harmonica, cigarettes, a lighter. Some more items from the kamikaze attack, pieces of metal. And I guess this is the pilot that is believed to have been the one that struck the Missouri. I guess they're not 100% sure. It's Setsu Ishino. This is the legal office. I guess they had a lawyer, practicing lawyer on the ship. To be the law library in here. There's some nicer quarters, a place to edit their videos. Oh, this is interesting. This is the home of MoNet. It says the first shipboard internet in the Navy was based out of this room. Wow. The internet room. Look at this. This is the engineering department. This is Daniel's room. And he drew this sweet dragon on the door to his room. Yeah, it looks like a classroom in here. And his computer lab. Okay, this is the computer center. We got the Apple logo on the door. Passing through all these sleep compartments. Gosh, it's almost like sleeping in a locker. The dentist's office in here. And here's the ship's post office. It's really interesting when you think about a post office on a ship. Mail going in and out. We're headed back up. And this is the wardroom, which is the eating area for high-ranking officers. See some model ships here. And this is the Missouri, where we currently are in the bowels of this ship. Oh, and look at this. It's the USS Constitution. I've actually been on that ship as well in Boston. Oh yeah, look at the area in here, the resting area. With the officers' rooms in here. See, they're a lot nicer. And this is the bedroom of Chief Engineer Commander Lawrence Doong. You can see the lays here in remembrance of the commander. And now we are headed up. We are now going to head into the upper part of the ship. Now we just got to keep climbing until we get to the bridge. Made it up to the bridge. It's windy. It's windy up here. Amazing, amazing view up here. It says, please do not sit in the captain's chair. Apparently people show up thinking they're the captain. Going inside the navigation bridge. Oh, wow. Oh yeah, this is what the captain would see here. Yeah, full speed ahead. Look at those guns. The captain's cabin in here. Oh, look at all the maps and cartography equipment. And then you can take a little nap in here. I got to the shuttle, they said there might not be enough seats for me. Just gonna check. Okay, they got a seat for me. All right, we've made it back to the visitor center, and Jen, did you bring the tickets?
I did. It's an email, so.
Yeah, we had to
Yes.
to get the USS Arizona tickets to take the boat over there. You have to like get on. We had about a minute to sign up every day. I think 3 p.m.
Yep.
You have to like
I
join
set
the
my
join the
alarm
queue.
and
I forgot, and
yeah.
Jen set her alarm. So Jen,
I'm used to this from like concert tickets. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm good. I'll get it in.
step in here. We can actually see a model of the USS Arizona that we were about to go see. See it sunken there at the bottom of the harbor. They built this platform over it. That's where we'll be going. So they take a boat out there, and then you go out on the platform, and you can look down on the ship. Looks like we board the boat over here. We are boarding our boat here to head over to the memorial. As we look out here, we can see part of the ship sticking up from the bottom. Now they say that of over the 2,000 people that died in Pearl Harbor, half of them were on the USS Arizona. The ship was full of people. It was sunk very quickly with one bomb. They did make the decision to not recover the bodies, so all the bodies of the fallen soldiers are still on the ship, and Apparently some soldiers that actually were not on the ship, but that survived, actually had their ashes placed here. So yeah, it's considered a grave site. This opening here, you can see down there under the water. Oh yeah, I can see the ship right there. See some of the oil over here. The ship is still leaking oil at the bottom. It's called the Black Tears of the USS Arizona. See it shimmering there on top of the water. And here they have all the names of all the people that lost their lives on the USS Arizona. We're being called back to our bow. And up next, we're going to be boarding our final vessel of the day, the USS Bowfin, the submarine here, known as the Avenger of Pearl Harbor because of how many Japanese subs it took down. Now it looks like we get to the Bowfin by entering the Pacific Fleet Submarine Museum. The World War II section. Here's a replica of the USS Bowfin, the ship that we are going to go see and get a preview of what it looks like on the inside. Tight quarters, as in every submarine. So items from the USS Bowfin, including a official USS Bowfin ashtray. Quote here: after about 4 or 5 hours submerged with people smoking, the air gets pretty foul. Oh my gosh, can you just imagine people smoking in a submarine? That's absolutely insane. Also, they shouldn't be blowing megaphones inside a submarine. Smoking, megaphone talking. Yeah, it's got to be miserable down there. With the submarine battle flags, and a lot of them do have mascots on them. There's the USS Spearfish. It's actually a fish with a spear. And a lot of them looks like they used fish as their mascot. USS Spot. All these different flags would be different. These are all Japanese subs that they had taken down. They put a Japanese flag for every sub that they've sank. Here's the USS Bowfin. As you can see, the immense amount of Japanese submarines that it took down. USS Sea Dog. It's actually a fish with a bulldog face. The USS Halibut. Yeah, I love how they're all like fish mascots. Oh, this one's got Jiminy Cricket riding a fish. And they have a Cold War section as well. This is a Japanese submarine here, and I didn't realize anything like this existed. So it's a submarine, but it also you can launch planes. You can see the planes coming out of that hatch there. So they launch the planes there that can attack just right straight out of the submarine. That's insidious. Here's the USS George Washington, and then here is a model of a submarine. The toy company was actually accused of selling military secrets because the model there explained how the submarine worked. This is a submarine called the USS Kamehameha, named after the first king of Hawaii. And this is from the USS Manhattan, named after a freshwater fish. From apparently the submarine was built on Lake Michigan, and here is its mascot. But now it is time to board the USS Bowfin. Up here on top of the sub. Alright, looks like we start out by heading downward. This from here we have the torpedoes, where they're sitting there and fired into Japanese ships. And of course, just imagine having the bed above the torpedoes. Not getting a lot of sleep. I guess you shouldn't be sleeping during a torpedo battle anyways. There's a toilet back in here. Look at all the different pipes are all running to and from that toilet. Okay, time to go through the hatch. Teeny tiny little kitchen in there. Of course, everything is teeny tiny on a submarine. There's the wardroom in here, where they're smoking it up, getting the inside of the submarine all cloudy. These beds seem more comfortable than the torpedo beds. And look, they have their own little toilet. Captain's stateroom in here. He has a little tiny desk and his own bed. Little office in here for typing. Yeah, look at in here all the different gears and things, all the gauges. Yeah, operating a submarine is no small task. You can look up here, see the periscope. A radio room in here. Look at all the light bulbs and fuses. Oh, there's actually a second kitchen. This one's a little larger. Here's where the crew eats their meals, plays cribbage, and does a whole lot of smoking. Now this is really interesting. You have some personal items from crew members, but this is a customized Navy uniform. So you're generally not allowed to customize your uniform when you're in the military, but it says that when they were in China or in Honolulu's Chinatown, they would have the inside of their outfits embroidered so they could have a little bit of personality, but be able to hide it when they need to. And I said this was popular souvenir because they really weren't allowed to bring a lot of things back on the boat because there's such limited room. So this was considered a souvenir where they'd have the inside of their outfit embroidered. Another popular souvenir, of course, was getting tattooed, which is interesting because you always hear about sailors getting tattoos. I guess it was because they wanted a souvenir, but didn't have the space to bring something large back with them, so just had it drawn on their skin. This is a glass Japanese fishing float. This is a sailor bought this and brought it on the submarine, and apparently it was highly annoying to everyone else on the sub. The other sailors claimed that it was always in the way. Some of the other toilets. Oh man. I would get tired going in and out of these hatches all day. See this little workshop in here. They've got sexy ladies hung up on the wall. And I've got more torpedoes here in the back. Headed up. See the big gun here. I guess you actually sit in these seats to aim that gun. This one actually moves around, so you can actually look around Pearl Harbor here. Oh yeah, I can see the USS Missouri right there. Over there I can see the USS Arizona Memorial and the tower at the Aviation Museum. Oh, really cool. I guess we exit Pearl Harbor through the gift shop. You get different t-shirts here. The USS Arizona. Some of the other ships as well. We have a lot of Rosie the Riveter merch. The little Rosie the Riveter bear. Then we have these fun mini blocks. And it looks like you can actually build the USS Arizona Memorial. Oh, here's all a different Pearl Harbor sites combo pack. Some Pearl Harbor Christmas ornaments. Oh, there's a little resin statue of the memorial. So thank you for joining me here today at Pearl Harbor. Some intense subject matter, but I think very important to visit here. You know, I did feel it was very important that while I was in Hawaii, I did pay a visit to Pearl Harbor, and it really gives you a different feel. Like being here, being in the actual spot. You know, when I was up in the tower, the gentleman was showing me the different locations. You know, where the planes came in, where the ships were, where the ships sunk. You know, seeing. I mean, probably the most moving thing is seeing the USS Arizona. You know, just sitting right where it sank, and you know, I think just the horror of what war means, and you know how just devastating it is on people's lives. You know, you look down at that ship and realize over 1,000 men sunk to the bottom there. A lot of them which are still down there. Just really sobering experience. Of course, you know, it is American history, it is world history, it's fascinating, but I think more than anything, I think you do take a moment to kind of stop and appreciate, you know, the loss of life, the brutality of what war is, and you know, I think as residents of the United States, we have been fortunate that we have not had a lot of things like this happen in our country. You know, we have had other things, obviously, you know, what happened with 9/11 and things like that. But it just really hits you in the gut when it's somewhere near home, somewhere familiar. I think it's easy to lose sight of that. You know, when this happens in other countries and things like that, and the loss of life and just impact that has on just people in general. Obviously, a good thing that the war was ended, the United States won, that, you know, fascism, tyranny took a big L in that war. But it's brutal. It's brutal. But yeah, really impactful being here, seeing the sights myself, learning more about what actually happened, a more in-depth view of what occurred during this very tragic incident. So thank you for joining me on this trip to Hawaii, on this trip to Pearl Harbor. We got the rest of the week here in Hawaii, got some fun stuff planned, and I hope you guys will stick with me and Jen. And until next time, this one's in the bag.